Alright, let's see if we can get this done before my camera shuts off. This is going to be the Ophelia rant that I promised and then did not deliver on, partially because I cannot stay organized, and so I have like 30 videos of me trying to do this. Let's see if this one comes out. I have to do it short enough that my camera won't shut off on me. So let's start. First of all, spoiler alert, I am going to be telling you about Hamlet. This is a Shakespearean tragedy. Everybody dies. There you go. Other spoilers happening too, but everybody dies. It's also almost always Hamlet's fault. So in this story of Hamlet, Hamlet's father, the story opens, Hamlet's father is dead, and his uncle on his father's side is marrying his mother. So Claudio is marrying Gertrude, the queen. And then Hamlet sees his father's ghost, who, by the way, has been hanging out in hell, so yeah, we want to trust what he says. And his father says, Claudio killed me so that he could marry and have the throne and have my wife. And so Hamlet decides to be crazy to see if this is true, because he's not just going to kind of like go and kill his uncle on a thought, on a whim. And he kind of pretends to be crazy to see if he can figure it out. And of course, at some point, it's the whole, is he actually crazy, or did he stop being crazy, or did he become crazy? And anyway, we don't really care about Hamlet right now. Hamlet's the reason most everybody dies, including my favorite character, the lovely fair Ophelia. So Ophelia is the love interest, and let me explain some things. People think she killed herself. I do not agree. They think she's a weak character because she killed herself, and I also do not agree with that. I don't actually think that just because someone kills themselves makes them weak. It just means they couldn't take any more of what they were going through. So, some context is, for the time, this is a patriarchal society, and Ophelia is, you could turn this into a drinking game for every time I say, Anyway, Ophelia is the only female in her family. You never really hear about her mother. If I'm wrong, and I've read it wrong, and it does, let me know, correct me, but as far as I know, it does not actually mention her mother. Her brother is living farther away, and she just lives with her father, the doddering, fuddy-duddy, lovely old man, Polonius. There's not really other women of the court mentioned, so Ophelia kind of seems secluded and very alone, especially since the only other woman of the court it does mention is Gertrude, who is a queen, and not really, I don't really see a young woman bonding with an older queen when one's not actually royalty. I took notes so I could actually remember things. So it has to be kind of hard already to be living in a patriarchal society where you're the only girl in your family. And the love of your life is now suddenly seeming a bit crazy. He had given her proof that he loved her in letters and such, and she returned them. If you really want to know why, read the story. It's a long explanation. So she gives back the letters, and he's like, well, I never loved you. And so poor Ophelia has her heart broken. I know people these days who would have their heart broken and go just a little bit crazy, so the fact that she still functions after that is pretty impressive. She's like, this play thing happens, and then afterwards Hamlet kills her father. So not only was she lonely before, now she's really alone. Her brother's still in another country, and the love of her life just killed her father. So she breaks just a little bit, which is understandable because there's people in this generation, in this society, where they're like, wow, this has all gone to shit. I'm just going to kind of keel over and die because I can't handle it anymore. And Ophelia actually lasts longer than you would think, and I think that she deserves some credit for that. So Laertes comes home because funeral for his father, and he sees that his sister's lost her mind. Although she's lost her mind, but she's still strong, and you can see what, you can kind of tell because one of the things she does is sing a lot, and while she's mad, and she's singing He's Dead and Gone, which is obviously a reference to her father. They think it's just kind of insanity, but if you listen to what she's singing, there's references to things. And then she sings one about Hamlet. Quoth she, before you tumbled me, you promised me to wed. So would I have done by yonder sun, and thou hadst not climbed into my bed. And so we know why Hamlet was acting the way she did, but she doesn't, so she feels like she's kind of to blame for Hamlet suddenly turning on her and stuff like that. So she doesn't know what we know about Hamlet, so that has to be hard too. And then another thing she does is she uses flowers to speak for her when she cannot speak herself, and she accomplishes what Hamlet's been trying to accomplish. Hamlet's not necessarily trying to kill Claudio yet, he's just trying to kind of call people out, is really what it seems to be at this point, is he's kind of done with everybody, he's kind of Holden Caulfield right now, everybody's a phony. So she gives, some of the flowers she gives is fennel, which means flattery, and columbine, which means adultery and faithlessness. She gives rue, which means bitterness. So she's giving people these flowers, and it's kind of their, like, this is what you have done, and people have to, like, accept these flowers. And Laertes even mentions, like, oh crap, I totally forgot the line. Something about how accurate it was, which was startling. Anyway, by the end, when she kills herself, there's a few different options. One, she kills herself, which I don't think she does. Two, Gertrude kills her because she blames her for what happened with Hamlet, because, again, nobody knows what Hamlet saw with the ghost father. Or Ophelia just didn't realize she was dying, and that's what I think happened. I think this sweet little girl was trying to beautify things, unlike when they have it in the movies and she's all dark. I think she still found beauty in things. And I think that she was making things pretty. A branch broke, she fell, she floated, which has to feel relaxing, and by the time she was drowning, her dress and all the layers were just so heavy she couldn't have saved herself if she wanted to. So, Ophelia is one of my favorite characters. I think she's the strongest. She calls everybody out, and by the time Hamlet does it, he has to use a sword and everyone dies, and she can do it with flowers, smiling sweetly, and I think that there's some to be said for her strength. And let me know how you feel about how Ophelia died, and if she died by herself, or if, but no, I don't think many people are very fair to Ophelia. And so there are some of my reasonings as to why Ophelia is a stronger person. And then I have another rant that I'll do later about why my least favorite Jane Austen character is probably the most important. Or in between, I'll just do some random crap about random crap popping into my head. Wonderful. So I will see you guys later. Enjoy.